best drivers around. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. Town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Green flag, let's go. Come on boys, it's time to put on a show. Caution's out, oh no, to the back of the pack is where we go. Slide jobs, sideways is how we like to spend most of our days. Bump draft, bumper hook, we knew going in that's the risk we took. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. No drama, race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. The best drivers around. Race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Green flag, let's go. Come on boys, it's time to put on a show. Caution's out, oh no, to the back of the pack is where we go. Slide jobs, sideways is how we like to spend most of our days. Bump draft, bumper hook, we knew going in that's the risk we took. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. No drama, race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RPG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Green flag, let's go. Come on boys, it's time to put on a show. Caution's out, oh no, to the back of the pack is where we go. Slide jobs, slide ways is how we like to spend most of our days. Bump draft, bumper hook, we knew going in that's the risk we took. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. No drama, race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. No drama, race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the Flatout Racing Network's continued coverage of Season 66 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Aero88 series. Tonight it's race number 10 as we are at Spartan Speedway. I'm Seth Cole alongside of Jack Mitchell, and Jack, drivers getting ready here tonight for a very difficult racetrack here, a mile in length, but looks like they're going to have their hands full in this 80-lapper.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk all the time. We've talked about all the time in this series about these drivers tend to be battling the tracks more than one another. And that's kind of the sense that we got looking at these pre-race laps here. I don't have a whole lot of time to talk, though, because we're coming to the green flag right now.
Green flag in the air. Jeremy Jeffries, one of 5 former winners on the season, looking to join Grant Wesley and now Jeff Supta as a multi-time winner here in Season 66 as he'll clear up on Dave Melson, gets a bump from behind, and there goes Grant Wesley down towards the inside wall, and we're stacking up.
Big stack up, a couple of collisions there mid-wreck. I mean, that was definitely going to be an interesting talking point, because one of the things that I was going to bring up is that we're in the middle of a crazy fight for the points lead right now. I mean, Jeff Supta is still the points leader after that win last week at, I believe it was American Speedway or American Raceway. But Grant Wesley, he's been on a roll as of late still. He had those 4 wins in a row, but involved in the middle of this one early.
Terry Bombard's actually going to inherit the race lead here. First lap, first caution, and it started right up at the front with the then race leader, the pole sitter, Jeremy Jeffries. Let's take a look and see how this all occurred. Almost kind of looked like Jeremy tried to clear himself up off that top side, and we're going to be talking about it here a lot tonight. A lot of slipping and sliding around on the entry of the corner. Car gets tight through the center, off the exit, and you're going to see right there, there's a huge difference in speed as Jeremy could not get back to the throttle, and it looked like the 038 of Dave Melson from behind was able to keep it floored.
And I think what you saw on the top side of the track there was just a bunch of reactions. That's why you saw that stack up and a big chain reaction happen throughout the rest of the field.
Watch Grant Wesley will have the camera focused on him. He did get some rear end damage out of this as Jeremy gets bounced down into him, and ooh, that's it's a bigger hit than I thought it was originally going to be. Contact with both the right front and the right rear. Grant trying to run down Jeff Supta for the points lead after he went on that 4-race winning streak. Both of the top 2 in the point standings were collected in this. This is looking at Supta's number 11. He was 5th or 6th coming off the corner, and then when they're stacking up here, Dixon gets into the back of Charest, who then shoots forward into Dotson, who then gets Jeff Supta.
It looked like he got pinched out of line there is what happened, and ultimately run around and paid a pretty big price for it so far. Actually, it doesn't look like there's that much damage on that car. So
you got to wonder what the situation was there as well, coming off the corner, because obviously the 038 is checking up because there are cars spinning in front of him. Could have also been a case of when did the caution come out, because it's frozen field, so everybody trying to maintain their spots on the racetrack here is... Yeah, it just looks like the 038, after he got into the 1, all his momentum was lost, and it just happens so fast. How do you communicate back to that 4th, 5th, 6th car in line that, hey, we're woeing up? I mean, it's the initial start of the race. Everybody's on full go.
yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any realistic way that you can in time. I mean, by the time you're screaming out loud something's going wrong, there's not really a whole lot anybody else can do.
So we've got the lights out atop the pace car, and we're going to get ready to go back green. Terry Bombard, he was 4th when they took the green flag, finds himself out in front with the race lead. He'll have Randy Waugh to his outside. It's like Richard Martin. Jim Glaude will now be row 2 with Doug Cady and Andre Charest completing the first 3 rows. Grant's going to restart back now in 12th. Jeremy Jeffries will start back in 17th, and Jeff Supta back in the 14th position. So this is a big opportunity here for the 21 of Randy Waugh, who the last couple of weeks, go back to American Speed or Raceway last week, and then even to Lucas Oil the week prior. First half of the race didn't look like he was going to be in line for a good run. Was having trouble staying inside of the top 10, but stayed with it, persevered, and came away with 2 solid back-to-back finishes, still keeping that gap between himself, Wesley, and Supta.
I mean, he is currently 3rd, but he's only 10 points behind Grant Wesley right now, so definitely not out of this.
A couple of drivers just got up into the wall there, including the 72 of Glaude, the 75 of Charest behind him, and this portion of the racetrack right here is going to be the most interesting segment of this mile racetrack, the entirety of this race. Turns 3 and 4, that concrete slab, a lot of drivers really want to go down this the shorter way around the racetrack, but it is a lot slicker than running up above it on the asphalt, so it's kind of a run that line at your own risk the entirety of the event.
And Waugh going to go to the lead. You talked about earlier about how those over the course of the last couple of races, he started off rough and then managed to finish strong at the end. Now he's got a really good position, obviously, in the race lead, so we'll have to see if he can maybe stay consistent with it.
Big send into the corner there by Jim Glaude as he moves by Terry Bombard for the 2nd position. Took the opportunity here. I mentioned there's a lot of tracks here on this schedule as Randy's going to get loose down this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone's going to avoid. No, they're not.
God.
Bobby Farrell. Big hit into Randy Waugh.
Just when I was getting ready to say Randy Waugh looks like he got clear of everybody else.
I was getting worried those last couple of laps when he was out in front. I kept seeing the back end of that 21 starting to come around through the center of 3 and 4, and this time it completely snaps loose. And it's such a helpless feeling because I was just going to mention I turned some laps out here to kind of figure out what the drivers were going to feel, and when you hear that right rear squealing, there's very little you can do to save it from going around. You just see right there the back end of the car kind of bounces up and down, and at that point he's along for the ride.
At that point, you're just trying to hope that nothing goes terribly wrong. And I mean, so far, right up until that moment, it looked like he was totally clear of everybody else. And then Bobby Farrell comes flying in at the last moment.
I almost wonder if at that point he was spinning down to the inside. I would assume that's still deemed up on the racing surface and the caution would have been out at this point, but maybe it wasn't. There's the look at it. You see that nose starts pointing down to the infield, and you got two choices. You either kind of let the momentum carry it and hope that you just have a harmless spin, which obviously that was not the case with the further impact with the 92, or you try and save it and then more than likely overcorrect and nose it up into the outside wall.
I mean, there was nothing the 92 could do there either. He was running the low side of the track at the time. I was going to say, everybody else did a pretty good job moving up to the high side and getting around him, but
see if we can get a listen
the low side
inside the 21. You can hear it right there.
Yeah. Right there, you could already tell something was going wrong.
Oh. Don't think that'll be enough to take Randy out of the race. He wasn't trailing black smoke, but this racetrack, albeit a mile in length, is definitely going to be dependent on aerodynamics, some pretty lengthy straightaways on both the front and the back, so there is going to be some aero damage, and that's going to take away some valuable miles per hour of straight line speed from Randy. Much like we've seen him the last couple of weeks, going to be another night where he's going to have to soldier on, but this time he's not going to have a car at 100% to do it with.
I've talked about it before, but that can be one of the more demoralizing feelings as well when you're in the middle of a race, because it's so early. There's still a long way to go, but you want to just keep fighting on and keep trying to get as many points as you possibly can, even if you don't have a car that can compete with the rest of the field, that can compete for the win. You got to just kind of do it anyway and tough it out, because you never know what could happen. I mean, we see Grant Wesley right here. He could have another incident that he's involved in, and Randy Waugh could just as he's only 10 points behind him right now for second place in the points. So if Grant has a problem and ends up needing to retire, then Randy Waugh, if he ends up finishing the race, he'll get more points.
Looks kind of like we flip-flopped the field here from the prior to that caution to now. Drivers that didn't pit at the first yellow stayed out, and they just now pitted. Drivers that pitted under the first caution stayed out, and now they're up there at the front. You see Grant, Sean Dotson, Dave Melson, Jeff Supta, your first four cars. They were all involved in that lap one incident. Jeremy Jeffries, the pole sitter, right there as well. And these restarts are going to be very, very sketchy because, as I mentioned already, you're at a
the caution's back out again.
Yep, you're right. Caution is indeed back out. You're already having difficulty with cars wanting to spin out on that concrete, but then you add in the fact that you've been running laps under caution. Those tires have cooled down. That's even more of a lack of grip, as that's Bobby Farrell looping it around through 3 and 4. Denny Carroll may have also been involved in this, as he's a ways back. Let's check and see what happened to bring out this yellow flag. And looks like it might have actually been the 92. Somebody else had actually had an issue further up.
I can already see the 92 getting loose by himself, and there he goes. But a caution might have come out just a little bit before that.
Yeah, I saw some smoke further up. Might have been a half spin and a save, but I'm not sure who it was. Oh, there's the smoke. Oh, it was Jeremy. Saw him on the apron, didn't know that he nearly spun it, but he was able to gather it back up. And then let's see if we can find the 41 and see if he had an issue. Yep, looks like he... Well, maybe not. Maybe he missed getting to the green flag. Yeah, it looks like maybe they had a too lengthy a pit stop and he actually didn't get back up to the field when they went back green. So that caution saved him. Before we came on the air here, Jack and I were trying to kind of figure out a track to compare this to, and talked before they ended up going to qualifying with the series admin, Jeff Supta. He says this is actually fashioned after Pikes Peak, and then I thought that makes so much sense because it does actually look like Pikes Peak. The only difference is a little bit wider corners. They move the walls out a little bit, give for an extra racing lane or 1.5 racing lanes. The only problem is, right now, everybody's having a little bit of difficulty holding the shorter way around the racetrack, so we may end up seeing more drivers migrate up. Saw a lot of drivers in practice when they came down here into 3 and 4. They ran just up above this concrete line there. You see where that seam is? They basically put their right sides on that seam, gave up the inside line, knowing that it was going to be really sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's something that these drivers might learn over the course of this race, is that the high side of the track might be the better part to run. I mean, obviously, during a race situation, you're thinking about a whole bunch of different things at the same time. You're probably not paying that close attention to which line you're running when you're in that tight battle for position. So I think as we move along, these drivers will realize, okay, we need to kind of run the top more and get longer green flag runs out of it.
Might make things interesting in terms of pit strategy as well. Roughly about 30 laps, the amount of distance that they can go on a tank of fuel. And we are more than halfway through what would have been a fuel run. 2 cautions in between that, though. So these drivers theoretically could get to the halfway point from this point without having to come to pit road. They would then have to come to pit lane somewhere a little bit north of 30 laps remaining. Let's see if we can get ourselves into a green flag run. One thing that I did kind of learn in practice is the car does start to tighten up the longer the run goes on. Big stack up there as Sean Dotson didn't get going in that outside line.
Napping on that restart. Wonder if he maybe missed a shift or just wasn't quite up to par there, and it held up the outside line. And here we go again.
Yep. Little deja vu between these two. Wesley in the 88, Supta in the 11. Wesley, you saw that car ride up off the turn, lost a lot of momentum, and here comes Supta.
I mean, the points battle really among the top 5 has been insane, but it's also kind of been these two duking it out right now. It feels like every race so far, at least the ones that we've been broadcasting here on FRN. So.
And the season's winding down too, including tonight. 5 races remain until we determine a champion. Grant keeps wanting to defend that inside line, but it doesn't look like he's got a car that can really hold the bottom. The back end continues to want to slide around. He's opened up the door, and Supta will slip through to the lead through 1 and 2.
Gonna fly right by him, and now the question is, can he manage to get back safely up to the high side and hold on to it?
This car looks a lot steadier than Grant's does here over in 3 and 4. I have to wonder, though, if maybe now falling to second is going to help Grant, and the fact that when you get in somebody's draft, that actually will tighten the car up. And if your car's loose over in 3 and 4, maybe having that little bit of aero tightness is just the balance you need to make sure that the thing's going to, A, rotate through the center still, but not want to spin around on you. And how about Andre Charest?
I was going to say, Grant might have to be playing defense soon because Andre Charest is making a run here.
A couple of Andres in the rearview mirror. Charest in the 75, Mahjong in the 27, 3rd and 4th right now. Sean Dotson, after the restart woes, still holding down the 5th position. And Bob LaChance currently in 6th with Jim Gloud in the 7th position. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 6 of the top 7 right there just ran their fastest laps of the race.
These guys are hungry, like you said. Only a few races left to go. We're already a little over halfway through the season, but already only, like you said, only 5 races to go, including tonight. These guys know there's not a whole lot of time to make up lost ground if you have any troubles here. So want to try and fight for the best position you possibly can.
Some more interesting racetracks coming up as well. Only 2 of the 4 racetracks left on the schedule are ones that are familiar to me. Texas World in a couple of weeks and Walt Disney World Speedway for the finale. Next week we'll be going to Burlington Raceway, and then in 3 weeks' time we're going to SNMP Night. I don't know what the acronym stands for. I will look into that for next week.
I will assume MP means Motorsports Park.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Saturday Night Motorsports Park, that's what we'll call it.
Sure. On a Wednesday night.
Yes. Thought for a moment Bob LaChance was going to have thoughts about taking the spot from Sean Dotson, but since then, Cloud's gotten around him to move into P6, and here comes Demar, trying to maybe see if he can get 7th place as the 51 begins to fade his way back. We had 19 drivers on the grid. Looks like only 18 of them took the green flag. Ron Hagelin did not grid up. And we do have 1 driver out of the race that did take the green flag to start this thing, that being Bobby Farrell. Farrell out of the race will finish in the 18th position.
We haven't brought it up that often, too, but that's kind of a tough break for him in the Challenger points. He was only 1 point behind Doug Cady for the Challenger points lead.
Doug in the race tonight, currently in 11th. I believe, let me double check, I believe he is the highest running of the Challenger drivers currently. 2 positions up on Bob Dixon. And looks like 6 positions up on Cy Jones. Well, looks like now that there's heat in the tires, these drivers are being able to migrate 3 and 4 a little bit easier now, a little bit smoother. Starting to settle into a rhythm here. And do I dare put out the potential commentators, Jinx, and start talking about potential green flag pit stops? Because one aspect of this racetrack we have not yet talked about is getting onto pit road. Last week I mentioned about how it looked like it was going to be one of the tougher pit roads to get onto, with the access road entering into 3 all the way into 4 at American Raceway. Well, it's kind of a similar scenario here, where you will have to enter down an access road in 3, make your way all the way around. The one difference between last week's racetrack and this week's racetrack, it's a mile in length, but pit road speed 55 miles per hour, so you can make a pit stop at about the same rate of speed as you would at a super speedway at a track that's only a mile in length. So that could make things very interesting in 2 regards. One, you could maybe make a pit stop and only lose 1 lap as opposed to 2, because normally at a mile racetrack you lose 2 laps under a green flag pit stop. The second thing is, I feel like 55 miles per hour, that little bit of extra speed is a little bit more extra incentive to force the issue, and we may end up seeing some very important, some very costly green flag, black flags passed out.
Yeah, I mean, you increase that speed limit on pit road, that just opens up the potential for maybe somebody tries to hot pit, maybe goes a little bit faster than they may want to. It kind of plays with your brain a little bit too, because it makes you think, oh yeah, I'll be fine. I don't necessarily have to slow down that much, but you still have to slow down. You still have to meet the limit. So I'll have to keep an eye and see what happens if we do end up having green flag pit stops.
Jeremy Jeffries trying to fight his way back up to the front. Just got by Sean Dotson for 8th place. Some of these drivers are still running their fastest laps of the race. Jeremy, just 2 laps ago, ran a 26.681, his fastest lap so far this evening. Jim Glaude's got the fastest lap of the race overall, 26.530, 143.288 miles per hour. Is Jim now going to work his way by Andre Charest? That 72 is moving. He's got some good long run speed.
He does.
We don't do this very often. Let's ride inside the 72. Listen to the throttle input as he makes his way through these technical corners here at Spartan Speedway. Two things I'm noticing right here. One, he's using up a lot of tires getting by these guys. I believe that's Supta coming to pit road, but watch on the left side. See that flicker right there of that light? He's in third gear. He's not in fourth gear right now, which is, I think, why he's getting so much momentum through the center of the corner. It's kind of risky, but it's working. And maybe that's why we see the 11 of Jeff Supta already diving to pit road as well.
There goes Grant Wesley.
Yeah, I think a lot of these drivers may not be shifting up to that fourth gear to save fuel. They're staying in the lower third gear to get that extra bite off the corner, and that's causing them to have to pit sooner. If you're in fourth gear, you're going to be able to stretch the fuel a little further. You consume more fuel when you're in that lower third gear.
Kind of makes me curious too, because those drivers, the 11 and the 88, they had to go to pit road earlier than the car we were just on board with. So,
well, remember too, they flipped the last caution.
That's also true.
They had stayed out after that last caution for track position, so they're about roughly 5 to 6 laps shorter on fuel than some of these others that pit under the last yellow flag. That puts Jim Glaude out in the race lead. So yeah, so Jim is in third gear. Andre Charest, who's behind him, he's in fourth gear. So theoretically, the 27 and the 72, if they both pit under the last yellow, the 27 should be able to go a couple laps further on fuel than Glaude. It's like all these drivers here, third through fifth, Charest, Martin, Jeffries, they're all in fourth gear. And I'd be curious to see, let's see, oh, we got a couple of Bobs on pit road, LaChance in the 51, Dixon in the 143, but I'd be curious to find where the 11 and the 88 are in relation to each other and see if they're still in third gear. Yep, Grant's still running third gear. Ooh, some smoke up ahead. Was that
smoke.
Supta?
That looked like it was Wesley.
Someone got loose ahead of Wesley. I think Supta might have nearly looped it around there in the entrance to one, and there goes Wesley. And this is going to bring out the yellow. Look out! Oncoming traffic.
Straighten it out. There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that might have been Wesley with that little proof of smoke there that we saw. It looked like maybe he had a similar incident in that earlier corner, and then it happened again, and he couldn't hold on to the car.
We've got some drivers that were on pit road at the time this yellow came out, including Martin, Charest, and Mahjong, so not sure what this is going to do in terms of where they're going to cycle around. Are they going to still stay on the lead lap, be on the tail end of the lead lap? Will they be able to cycle to the front when the others pit? I mean, I don't know if this was a help or a detriment to those drivers being on pit road at the time that this yellow came out, but Jim Glaude's going to lead the field onto pit road, and we'll try and figure out who is where I believe Supta is in line for one of the lucky dogs. Bob LaChance potentially for the second one, but there's a lot of question marks, especially when you have a caution come out in the middle of green flag stops. As we'll go back and take a look at what happened here. Let's go back all the way to 1 and 2. Oh, we had near contact. It was Supta that had that little puff of smoke come out from the right rear. He was trying to make his way around the 7-Eleven of John Godfrey, and ooh,
Yeah.
got
It
the
looked
brace
like
to
it was
save
Wesley. Yeah, I guess it happened right in front of Wesley, and Wesley was driving through it. That's why I thought it was the 88.
And here's the following set of corners. Supta lost momentum. Grant tried to capitalize, drove it in. Back end did not plant. And right here, look out. Denny Carroll just able to avoid him.
And way to quickly need a change of underwear after that one.
Yeah, we've already had one driver get T-boned tonight in Randy Waugh, who, by the way, is still out there running and was on the lead lap during the course of this green flag run. He was about 13 and a half seconds behind the leader, but that thing's still running, so trying to get every point he possibly can. And I believe he had actually still stayed out when that caution came out, so he may gain some track position off of this yellow flag. We've got to wait officially to find out who is going to be where. It looks like Supta and LaChance got the free passes. Richard Martin, Sean Dotson, I believe they took the wave around along with Andre Mahjong and Andre Charest. Jeffries is going to inherit the lead, and I believe Grant Wesley, Bob Dixon will still be one lap down when we go green. We crossed the halfway threshold there. Nice little long green flag run. Nearly saw a complete cycle of green flag pit stops, but based off what we saw right there of most of the race leaders, not all, but most of the race leaders running in third gear, we know for certain they cannot make it the rest of the way.
No, I'm definitely going to need another trip down pit road, so I think the only question is, does it come out under green again, or does it come out, do we have like a caution that happens and interrupts everybody's plans? I mean, that was kind of a crazy one too, because obviously it's not easy to untangle when there's a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops like we just had.
I can tell you from experience, it is a series admin's nightmare to try and sort it out of who needs to be where. Granted, usually the game tells you where to line up, but the game also does not account for lucky dogs and waiver rounds. So you got to untangle all that mess, but it looks like they've done so. Jeremy Jeffrey is going to be getting us back under green. Started from the pole position, had an issue off the second corner on lap 1, got spun. He's been able to fight his way back up to the point. He'll have one of the best cars we've seen tonight on the long run, Jim Gloud, to his outside. Doug Cady looking to pick up a challenger win tonight, lining up in the third spot. Terry Bombard's led a few laps tonight. He'll restart in fourth with Dave Melson, John Godfrey. That's going to be the top 6. Denny Carroll, Randy Waugh, Cy Jones, and Jeff Supta will be the top 10 as we get ready to go back green, nearing 30 laps to go here tonight at Spartan Speedway.
That is a great restart for Jeremy Jeffries. He took off.
And now everybody's going to be on tenterhooks again here, going through 3 and 4. Oh, wow, look at the mass migration of drivers that went up hit the outside wall. I think 5 of the top 8 just did, including the race leader.
And Doug Cady going to shoot to the race lead. Now we'll see how long he can hold on to it as he gets up to the high side. And Jeffries, contact.
Little slide job there through 3 and 4 from Cady, but he couldn't keep the momentum off of 4. Jeffries crosses him over. He'll go back to the race lead. Looks like they all got through 3 and 4 safely. Again, Jeremy having trouble off of 2.
This reminds me of super speedway racing that you see sometimes in this game, where you see a car on the bottom and then it looks like they're able to make it work. They shoot to the lead, but then they have to end up running a bit high, and there's a car right there on the bottom to take their position.
One thing about this track that I can say I observed when I was testing it out, it's extremely deceptive in when you're able to get back to the throttle. You can feel the nose start to point. You can feel the car kind of bite, and you think, okay, this is where I can get back into the throttle. Next thing you know, about a half second later, car tightens up and you have to bail out of the throttle again. I think that might have been what Jeremy felt a couple of times as caution is back out. And not sure who it was for. Everybody is facing the right direction. Possibly the 7-Eleven of John Godfrey, as he's a long ways back from the pack, but it might have been just a solo car spin to bring out the 5th yellow. Well, it was a solo car spin, but I think there might have been some help.
It looked like he maybe got boxed in just a little bit here, and then 27, just a little tap, I think. Hard to tell 100% if there was contact, but it certainly looked like there was.
Yeah, it was Andre Mahjong. As you said, boxed in. They were all wadded up. They were about to throw a blanket over 5, 6 different cars. They were running behind the 21 of Randy Waugh. Might have, yeah, you can see he doesn't have that straight line speed, and yeah, they just checked up going into the corner there. 27 did not lift at the same time the 7-Eleven did, and Godfrey goes around.
Yeah, we talked about how slippery this track has been. All it's going to take is one little bump like that to send somebody around.
Again, though, very fortunate that it was only just a solo car spin, and honestly, with some of the hits we've seen already here tonight, there wasn't a whole lot of contact sustained by Godfrey. He'll certainly need some fresh Goodyears, but the good news for him is he kind of hit flush. He kind of hit it with the passenger side door, and then somebody else, was it Terry Bombard? Somebody else had a moment just up ahead of him, too. No, it wasn't Terry. Who was that other driver that saw some smoke out of? Oh, 75 of Charest. A little four-wheel slide.
Tokyo Drift in the middle of this track. Managed to hold on to it, though.
This caution is going to be a big break for a couple of drivers. Grant Wesley, Bob Dixon, they should get back on the lead lap here. And that will put all of our remaining 17 drivers on the same lap as the leader, Jim Glaude. Also, we saw most of the leaders that stayed in third gear come to pit road somewhere around lap 35, 36-ish. We're maybe right in that window to be able to make it the rest of the way, 25 laps. So for those that came to pit road under this yellow, maybe their final stop of the night. We'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be awful close. I mean, we're going to restart on lap 56 of 80. The end of this race is sneaking up on us. We're not that far from the finish line, so drivers are going to have to really be thinking about when's the last time you want to make your last pit stop.
Yeah, ticking these laps away, I mean, you consider the fastest lap of the race, less than half a minute. I mean, that is crazy. 26 seconds to tick off a lap here at Spartan Speedways. To your point, this race has flown by despite the fact that we've seen 5 cautions. Even the pacing laps have been rather quick here as Jim Glaude gets us back under the green. Denny Carroll now going to fight with Doug Cady for the 2nd position, and here comes Jeremy Jeffries in the 1. Oh, that time he was a little better off of 2 as he started to migrate up towards the 43 of Richard Martin.
Doug, I thought, was going to try a crossover for a second, but then he got stuck on the high side. He's probably going to lose positions here unless he holds on to it.
Wow.
Almost made contact with Jeffries.
He held on to it, but it nearly brought him down into the right front of Jeremy Jeffries off of 4. Whoa! Big send there into the corner for Doug Cady, almost into the back of Denny Carroll. I think these drivers also realize that this race is quickly wrapping up here, and they're going for it.
I mean, credit to Doug as well. I mean, we haven't mentioned him really in the points discussion. He's currently 6th right now in the points. He's got 295 points, but he's still a ways behind Jeremy Jeffries. So if he's able to get by Denny Carroll and find himself in victory lane tonight, that would go a long way.
This send here to the outside of Denny Carroll through 3 and 4. Yeah, to your point, Katie, looking for his 3rd top 5 on the season. He's currently almost trading a little paint there for P2. Jeremy Jeffries looking on. Again, this is the best battle on the racetrack right now at the front of the field. Jim Gloud, he's gone. He's opened up over a second to the 2nd place car, which now looks like it will be Denny Carroll. Caution's out.
And there goes that gap to the leader.
It was 1.5 seconds, a second and a half that last time by. As you said, it evaporates right there with the caution, and I think, looks like the 72's pitting. Who else is coming down? Ooh, nobody up towards the front. Interesting. 21's coming down, 143 with a late move. Is this a play for fuel or is this a play for tires from the 72 of Jim Gloud?
I mean, it could be both. I mean, we're pretty much, I think we're just about in the window to make it.
See what brought out this yellow flag. I believe it might have been the 21 of Randy Waugh. It's been a tough night for him.
Somebody in front of him.
That was Terry Bombard also that went around. Little assistance from Grant Wesley, but the 21 was already spinning. And let's find Terry, who looks like he may have just done a little 360 and kept going. Or actually, no, he never fully went around. He just slid it off into the corner. There you go. Terry's got that dirt tracking background, that short tracking background. That just came into play right there.
It did.
Had a little contact with, I think it was the 27 of Andre Mahjong. That maybe helped him a little bit, straighten that thing out as well. So a couple of cars going around through 3 and 4. Bringing out the yellow flag once again and going to set us up with a, I think we could call it a shootout. Less than 20 laps to go here. Denny Carroll's now coming in. Leads a lap, but dives to pit road.
Took the bonus point for leading a lap, but then he's going to dive on the pit road, and that'll make things really interesting up here at the front.
But the interesting thing about that is Denny had already led a lap prior. So I'm not sure why he stayed out that extra lap there instead of pitting the previous pace lap. Unless that one extra lap there could be important in terms of fuel. I don't know.
That's kind of really close if you're just a lap short like that. Not totally certain what the play is here.
Well, no need for lucky dogs. Everybody was on the lead lap the time that caution came out. Lights are out. We're going back green. It'll be 17 to go. Jeremy Jeffries looking to go coast to coast. Pole to win. He's only led 6 laps so far here tonight. Doug Cady will line up to his outside. Dave Melson lines up in 3rd. Jeff Supta currently in 4th. 5th for Bob LaChance. Sean Dotson is 6th. 7th, I believe, is going to be Andre Mahjong. Andre Charest in 8th. 9th, Grant Wesley. And Jim Gloud is going to complete the top 10. We'll see if the 72 can work his way up through the traffic and still be in the conversation by the end of this thing.
Another great restart for Jeffries.
And that might have been his best turn, too, on a restart so far tonight.
Absolutely. Able to hold on to it. I mean, last time he got a restart like that, he wasn't able to get that good of a second corner, and he ended up losing the lead. But this time he holds on to it and does a pretty good job of it. Here comes Jeff Supta flying in.
Got that
not right off
victory
this
last
11
week.
car.
Trying to build off of it, looking for his third win on the season and extend the points lead.
Already he's gaining ground too. I mean, we're looking at Sean Dotson right now. And Wesley not too far behind them as well, but
Mahjong got squirrely right there. Had to check up for the car in front of him, Bob LaChance, and he was down on that concrete section of 3 and 4. Nice job hanging on to it.
oh. I'm going to slide to the low side of the racetrack.
Oh, and there goes
Oh,
Mahjong!
gosh.
Jim Glaude's gonna get him. Caution's gonna come out again. And we're gonna more than likely get ourselves a restart now with roughly about 10 laps to go.
Curious to see how close the contest was for second place. As we saw the 11 car flying in there on that battle, it looked like nobody was going to really have anything for him.
We'll take a look at what brought the yellow, and then to your point, we'll see the timing of when that caution flew. 27 of Andre Mahjong, rather, and yeah, he's already in trouble going into 3.
Got a little bit of help from Wesley, and then the 72 had nowhere to go. But to your point, he was already going around anyway.
As you saw right there, he is now done for the night, going to join Bobby Farrell in the garage area. Take another angle of it here down the backstretch. Kind of interesting there. He has his left side's down on the concrete, his right side's up there on the asphalt. I gotta wonder if there's like a slight difference in grip levels there, and that can maybe throw off the balance of the car as well. You may have to fully commit either to the asphalt line or to the concrete line. You can't half and half it.
Oh, look at behind them. The 143 was already going around.
Oh, yep. Bob Dixon. Oh, and Doug Cady. We had another incident that, I guess, so I think this actually brought out the yellow maybe before that other incident. This was towards the tail end of the field, so it might not necessarily. Carroll down on the apron, clips Dixon. Yeah, the caution was already out.
That's an interesting one, too. I was going to talk about how Denny Carroll, with that late pit stop, I thought maybe he might have an advantage because he wouldn't need to go to pit road again so soon, but ends up being responsible for the yellow flag.
So we're going to take the opportunity here to go back, find where exactly the pace car has its lights turned on. There it is. And Supta had already been by Dave Melson for the second position there, with Katie in 4th, and then it would have been really close there between LaChance and Sean Dotson for 5th. I think the 51 was just barely edged out ahead off the exit of 2. So here we go. Just as I thought, 10-lap shootout to decide this thing. And we are now in the territory of race back as well. Caution comes out, field is not frozen. They will race back to the start-finish line. Seems like we've been getting roughly about 3 to 4 laps of pacing under each one of these cautions. So I would say with no lap machines on the track, we're looking probably around completion of lap 66 would be the point of no return. The next flag would end the race from that point on.
Well, this should be a very interesting restart here on the front row. Jeremy Jeffries has been doing a great job as of late, getting a good jump on these restarts, but the 11 car of Jeff Supta has clearly been the fastest car on the track, I feel like. I mean, we'll wait for the lap times to confirm that, but it feels like he's been flying by everybody right now, so we'll see what they can pull off here.
Whoa!
Oh,
contact back there between Dotson and Katie, and it's going to be a big pile up here in 1 and 2. Big hit for Terry Bombard. Bob LaChance, Jim Gloud, I think Grant Wesley may have even gotten a piece of it, as we'll watch the battle back here coming to the line. Just about everybody got out of shape there through 3 and 4, but Jeffries will lead them back. We should get back green, but there won't be that many laps left.
Yeah, now we're going to have maybe about a 5-lap shootout, I want to say.
Something like that, yeah. Not sure if this was maybe a block gone wrong, or we're going to start this from the aerial view. Watch the green car on the outside, Doug Cady, the gold car on the inside of Sean Dotson, who we're focused with.
And you can see the 88 was going up to the high side too, so everybody was just getting out of shape. Oh yeah, Wesley almost went around there too.
John Godfrey also got a piece in the 7-Eleven, so about 5-6 drivers collected up in that one. I'm not sure if the 007 was throwing a block, or if he just didn't know that the 91 was there and he was trying to follow behind the 38 for the inside line going into 1, because he was on the outside for that restart. And these last 2 cautions have hurt Jim Gloud. We were talking about his incredible long-run speed tonight. The problem is, 1, you're not able to make up a ton of spots when you end up having maybe a lap or 2 of green flag and then a quick caution. The other problem is the last 2 yellows, he's been involved in both of them.
Well, now this, again, it should set up for another interesting restart here. Jeremy Jeffrey is going to have the lead, but this time Supta, instead of being to his outside, is going to have the lower side of the racetrack.
If we're going to get that 5-lap shootout, lights will need to go out on the pace car this time by Sean Dotson. Will not be taking this upcoming green, as he is done for the night. He'll finish 16th, joining Andre Mahjong and Bobby Farrell behind the wall. Our 15 remaining drivers, all on the lead lap. And this is the way they're going to line up for what looks like going to be the final restart of the night. Jeremy Jeffries showing the way. Dave Melson lines up to his outside in 2nd. Jeff Supta is 3rd. Doug Cady 4th. 5th will be Richard Martin. Andre Charest in 6th. Randy Waugh is in 7th. Another week of soldiering on, toughing it out for the driver of the 21, looking to salvage a top 10 after that big lick in the early stages of this one. Bob Dixon in 8th, Denny Carroll 9th, and John Godfrey is going to complete the top 10.
I mean, this is why I said it earlier, going back to Randy Waugh. I mean, you have to soldier on through these things if you crash early, but you can still keep going because you just never know what's going to happen to the cars in front of you. You could still very much have a chance to rescue a good points day out of it when it's all said and done.
Only 2 of the top 10 have formally won this season. They're lining up on the inside of rows 1 and 2. Everybody else is looking for their first win of season 66. Only 5 drivers have won the previous 9 races. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Great launch that time for Melson. Jeremy did not get the launch he's been getting on the previous restarts.
They got a better run through that first corner. Melson and Supta are side by side. Jeffries almost got up into the wall, but he's going to hold on to it. This is tight here.
Cady way up the racetrack there through 3 and 4 as he battles with Richard Martin for the 4th position. Supta looking to clear for 2nd. Melson still to his right rear. We're still green. Great corner there for Supta, but can he get the momentum off of 2 to close up on the 1?
There he is. Didn't quite have the best corner there compared to Jeffries. Jeffries going to fly.
Woo! He used all the racetrack off of 4.
He really did. I thought for a moment he was going to go up into the wall. Problem is now he's got to defend.
We saw that big lift there from both of them through the center of the corner. Punch the throttle off with 2. Down into 3. Both going to run the bottom right on the concrete. Jeremy very loose on entry.
Supta going to take advantage of it.
Going to get to the left rear here. 2 laps to go here tonight from Spartan Speedway.
Jeffries can't run the line he wants. Barely got a nose out in front right now, but this is very tight.
This is going to be a tough pass for Supta, though. Down on the inside into 3. Can he pull off the slide job? Jeremy's going to pinch him down. Off of 4. We're side by side. Coming to the white flag.
Great run there for Supta.
Oh, but Jeremy backed up the corner. The
boy.
crossover. Down into 3. Can Jeremy pull off the slide job?
This is going to be
Oh,
very
he doesn't have the
close.
grip. Couldn't get back to the throttle. And Supta is going to pick up the win here tonight at Spartan Speedway. What a last couple of laps.
What a finish. That was fun. That was an expert pass for the win by Supta. He ran Jeffries all the way to the bottom. There might be a bit of a show of appreciation between those two. I think the race-winning move, the pass for the win, ultimately happened when the one car got a little bit of loose on the entry to, I think it was turn 3. It gave Supta all the time he needed to fly right by and take the win. But man, that came down to the wire. That was so fun to watch, and just goes to show you how crazy this battle amongst really the top 5 in points has been all season long. I mean, Jeffries should be pretty satisfied with that. He's probably going to gain some ground. He might go to 3rd. I mean, Randy Waugh got a... I want to see if Randy Waugh ultimately did end up finishing inside the top 10, but Jeffries was not far behind Denny Carroll or Randy Waugh in points, so good opportunity for him to gain ground on Grant Wesley, but Supta should also gain a pretty decent amount of ground on Wesley as well.
You can see on the headlights and the taillights of this race car, the number 11 of Supta, but also on the opposite side, the 3 of David Cannon. This is a David Cannon livery that Jeff has run here in Season 66. You see the Marvin the Martian prominently featured there just in front of the rear tires. It's the first time this season here on FRN that Supta's going to win with this scheme here tonight. He's going to go back-to-back, and the last time we saw a driver go back-to-back, that was Grant Wesley, and he ended up going on a 4-race winning streak. Could that be the case here for Supta down the home stretch as he looks to lock up this championship in the Aero88 series?
I mean, we're just going to have to wait and find out. I mean, there's definitely a pretty decent variety of tracks coming up on the schedule. We talked briefly about SNMP. I actually looked that up before. It stands for Southern National Motorsports Park. It looks kind of like a banked Martinsville.
Oh.
That should be an interesting one.
Yeah. It looks like we're kind of going shorter and shorter in track configurations as we get down to the nitty-gritty here for the championship in the Aero88 series. So that'll definitely be an interesting track to watch next Wednesday night. This is the way they cross the stripe here this evening. Supta picks up the victory. Jeremy Jeffries will finish in 2nd. He'll get the bonus point for most laps led, will Jeremy. 23 laps out in front here tonight, and had to fight his way back up to the front after getting spun from the race lead back in the very first lap of this race after starting on the pole. Dave Melson's going to bring it home in 3rd. Great run for him after starting this race in 2nd. Richard Martin brings it home in 4th. And Doug Cady, he'll pick up his 3rd top 5 on the season, and he will also take the victory in the Challenger Series here tonight. Andre Charest, he'll finish in 6th. Denny Carroll in 7th. John Godfrey 8th. Another top 10 run for Randy Waugh after that car was majorly damaged. Got T-boned by Bobby Farrell in the early going. He'll still bring it home in 9th, and Grant Wesley is going to finish out the evening in the 10th position. So for Randy and Grant, they'll get top 10 runs, but they will certainly lose ground to Supta, who finished in victory lane. Jim Glaude will bring it home in 11th, Terry Bombard 12th, 13th for Bob Dixon. Bob LaChance was 14th. Last car to finish, all 15 drivers on the lead lap was Cy Jones. 3 drivers did not reach the conclusion. Sean Dotson, Andre Mahjong, and Bobby Farrell complete your finishing results here tonight. Well, what a finish to tonight's event. Crossovers back and forth, maybe some borderline slide jobs, I guess you could say. And Jeff Supta picks up the victory here tonight, his 3rd on the season. Let's see if we can dial up some drivers and get a hold of our podium finishers here tonight. Let's kick things off with the driver that brought it home in the top 3 after starting this race from the outside of the front row. Let's dial up Dave Melson.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey Dave, it's Jack and Seth up here in the FRM booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, great run for you here tonight. Got off to a bit of a rocky start there with a lot of contact up at the front of the field on the first lap, but were able to get the track position back, maintain it. You had a front row seat of what was going on up ahead. Do you have any plans of maybe getting up there, making a 3-man fight at the close?
I was hoping maybe they would run into each other and I just go by them.
Obviously tonight, a challenging racetrack. We ended up documenting that concrete area over in 3 and 4 seemed to be the biggest problem spot for everybody. Looked like you had some good long run speed though. What were some of the tricks of this racetrack you were able to figure out that helped you to be able to maintain that long run speed through the duration?
Patience is the biggest thing. 1 and 2, different than 3 and 4. You had to drive them both differently. If you tried to get off anywhere off the bottom, coming into 2, you'd push up to the wall. But if you made a late entrance, a late dive to coming out, you're good. 3 and 4, you just had to roll the center a little longer than normal.
It was interesting, too, because we were watching you drivers on both restarts and during those couple of long green flag runs. Was there any point in this race where the car kind of felt, stable to drive, or were you guys constantly on edge no matter what portion of a run you were in?
I don't know. I think it just depends on who the driver is and how they drive the car. I mean, I felt basically like on edge but stable the whole race, but that's just my driving style maybe for this track. But others were having some tough times and some weren't. So.
Well, a great run for you here tonight, Dave. Started this race from the outside of the front row, bringing home solidly on the podium in 3rd place here tonight. Congratulations on a job well done. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for thank you sponsors and shout-outs.
Yeah, just thank RTG for being here. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a place to play. All the admins for all the work they do to keep us out with a place to play. And you guys for putting on the show. Appreciate it.
That's Dave Melson, 3rd place this evening at the Spartan Speedway. Congratulations once again on a solid overall race, bringing home in 3rd place. And let's see if we can now dial up the driver that finishes 2nd place here tonight, Jeremy Jeffries.
User was moved to your
Hey,
channel.
Jeremy, Jack and Seth up here in the FRM booth. Got a copy?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Man, I'll tell you what. I wasn't even behind the wheel of one of these race cars, and my heart was pumping. My adrenaline was going with those last couple of laps. What a finish everyone was treated to here tonight at Spartan Speedway. Back and forth, crossover after crossover. Jack pointed out it seemed like maybe just that little wiggle there in the entrance to 3 might have been the difference. If that hadn't happened, do you think you had something for him to be able to snipe this victory and go coast-to-coast pole to win?
I'd really like to think so. Yeah, I got a little loose there and allowed him the chance to get under me, and was able to actually fight him off pretty good on the outside there until I decided I wanted to try to be on the inside, which might have been the wrong move because he got on the outside and just motored on through 3 and 4 and took the win.
We saw you obviously have that slight issue on the first lap of the race, had to gain that track position back, but once you did, had a really good car that was able to get really good launches to get clear over into 1 and 2. With that being said, though, we ended up also seeing you have some slight issues off of 2. It seemed like as the race progressed, though, you kind of figured out that particular corner to be able to keep everybody in the rearview mirror. How much learning took place here tonight, because I went out there and turned a couple of laps, and I had a lot of I still had a lot of question marks after I got out of the car. Just how much did you have to adapt, and how much did you have to kind of learn on the fly all the ins and outs of what this racetrack is like? Not only on the initial start of a run, but you guys end up having that long green flag run and some green flag pit stop start as well.
Yeah, I was learning that whole race. Apparently, I didn't learn my lesson on the first lap, so I tried to replicate it later on in the race. But yeah, that was a fun track and a tricky setup. It was a little loose on entry, and then it was really tight on exit sometimes, or sometimes it just got loose in the middle. You didn't know what it was going to do.
The points are still really close. 5 races, including tonight, still left on the schedule. 4 as we leave Spartan Speedway here tonight. Couple of drivers that you're behind in the standings with some struggles here this season. You're going to close up the gap on them, may be able to surpass a few of them. Going to lose a bit of ground there to the 11, but with looking at the schedule, these other racetracks coming up here, it's obviously some good momentum for you leaving here tonight. How do you think this could help you be able to make a late season run for the championship?
Well, I'm not familiar with next week's track, so we'll see what happens there. Burlington, have no idea. But yeah, I feel really good about it, Texas World and SNMP. But Walt Disney, that could be a little tricky. But I don't know. I'm gonna try. I think I moved into third in points tonight, but Jeff's kind of running away with this thing right now. So he's gonna have to have something happen for any of us to catch him. I think he's had a heck of a season.
A great run for you here tonight. Almost going pole to win, but bringing it home with most laps led this evening at 23 and a solid podium finish in second place. Congratulations, Jeremy, on a great run here tonight. Heck of a battle there at the end. Appreciate you treating us to that. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shout-outs.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun there at the end. That was a heck of a job with Jeff and keeping it clean, and just congrats to him on the win. That was a ton of fun. Thank you to Seth and Jack here at FRN for doing the broadcast tonight. Thanks to the owners and admins at RTG and everybody out there watching tonight and whenever on YouTube. Gosh, they're going to be treated to a great finish if they haven't watched it yet.
Absolutely. It was a heck of a finish here tonight. Jeremy, congratulations on a great run this evening. I know you wanted that one position better, but solid second place run, and best of luck to you next week at Burlington Raceway.
Thank you.
And let's see if we can now
User
go
was moved
down
out
to
of your
victory
channel.
lane, dial up 3-time winner, Jeff Supta.
User was moved to your
Hey,
channel.
Jeff, it's Jack and Seth up here in the FRN booth. Got a copy?
I gotcha.
Hey, back-to-back victories. You're third on the season. You're going to extend the points lead heading into the final 4 races of the season. But man, what a battle there at the end. Back and forth, crossover after crossover. Was there any point there during that final 2 or 3 laps that you thought, I got him? Or was it basically maybe thinking this thing could come down maybe to a game of inches by the time you guys came around to the checkers?
No, I had no idea. I don't know what Jeremy had, what he was going to do, what he was going to run. It was, yeah. I decided to back up the corner, enter high, and try to angle it down and get a run off the corner. But me and Jeremy, so many times we've been side by side going for the lead. I wouldn't bet on either one.
It was interesting coming into tonight. You look at the grid, you look at Jeremy, yourself, Grant, number of drivers, Randy, up there in the point standings, starting up towards the front of the field in this race. You guys come out of turn 4 on the first lap, and most of you are outside of the top 10. Obviously, I'm sure you had a strategy when the green flag flew. How much of an audible on your strategy did you have to play when you ended up having that lap 1 incident?
My thought process from the beginning was, since I didn't qualify where I wanted to, was it's a long race, so you'll get there when you get there. And then that wreck happened, and I'm like, okay, well, just little by little, chisel away at it until I can get up there and somewhere in the top 5, and then make a run for it.
Now, before I ask you the next question, I want to just make sure that I have my information correct. Because we did an onboard during that green flag run with the 72, and then we checked in on you and Grant, and it looked like you guys were doing the same thing. Were you guys running in third gear, didn't shift up to fourth gear during that run?
I was running third gear.
Okay,
Yes.
so my question with that is, can you explain to everybody what kind of an advantage that gave you, and did that put you at a disadvantage as far as a fuel number?
Well, it's funny you ask. Um, Normally, in this league, we run third and fourth gear the same in on short tracks. When I re- took over on Wednesday with the trucks and now Aero88, I run third gear and fourth gear just a little different, and that is for driver preference. If you're a driver and you're driving on a track and you're loose, you're better off using fourth gear. You're going to end up not having the power coming off the corner. You're going to be it's going to tighten up the car by using fourth gear. We're only talking a slight difference, and it will also save fuel for you. And run in third gear, if you wanted to kick the rear end and be a little bit more aggressive coming off the corner or entering the corner by when you lift, the RPMs are a little higher, so you're going to use the motor to slow down instead of hitting the brake. But you could see I pitted 4 laps ahead of some of those guys who had the same fuel as me.
Yeah, that's what we kind of wondered too, because we sometimes with the spectator doesn't necessarily always show what the correct year that you guys are in. But when with what you're saying, you come into pit road a little bit sooner than what we projected. That made me think that more than likely you and it looked like a number of drivers inside of the top five were running in that third gear during the course of that long green flag run. You bring it home with the victory here tonight, back-to-back victories here. I mean, we're in the home stretch. We've only got 4 races left here. We go to Burlington next week. What does the momentum and the confidence feel like here with those 4 races on the horizon? You've been able to build a little bit more of a gap here with this victory here tonight. Still some tough tracks to conquer, but gotta help you as far as a confidence boost here with the end of the season drawing close.
Anywhere else, maybe, but I mean, even Grant having a bad day, like I mean, in 2 races, I could be second in points. That's how I look at it. Until we go to the final race, where I'm probably locked in on points. If that's a situation, so be it. But I've been with these guys for 12 years now, and I've been in the lead going into the last race on Monday nights and Wednesdays, and lost both of them. So I don't count my blessings until the last race usually.
Well, a great run for you here tonight, bringing it home with your 3rd victory on the season. It was really cool to see that David Cannon paint scheme do the Polish victory lap in the burnout here tonight at Spartan Speedway. He pulled the Russell Crowe. For those that don't know, Jeff ended up having a promo video here tonight in the Facebook group. He sent it to me, and it ends off with the Russell Crowe, "This is Sparta." I think you shouted that to the whole field here tonight when you took that checkered flag. Congratulations on your 3rd victory on the season. Got some good momentum here down the home stretch. And before we let you get back to your celebrating, Jeff, floor is yours for thank you sponsors and shoutouts.
Just one thing, and using that car today, David Cannon's. I've been using it all season. Hasn't really had much luck till tonight. So yeah, I want to dedicate it to him, and just it was nice. I hope the broadcast looked good at the end. We got racy, so I just hope it was enjoyable.
Certainly was an exciting finish for sure. And congratulations on being on the winning side of that battle, bringing it home with the victory here tonight. Jeff, best of luck here in these remaining final 4 races of the season as you look to lock up this championship on Wednesday nights.
All right, thank you, and I'll see you next week at a really strange road course.
Okay, sounds good. Jeff Supta with the victory here tonight.
User was moved out of your channel.
That would be quite the interesting post-race radio. You win the race, and then you get over the radio screaming, "This is Sparta."
Yeah, right?
Perfect track to do that, too.
The only track I can think of where it would make the most sense to shout that, though, would if he kicked another car down into the quarry at Thornton. I can't really think of any other place that has a cliffside. We got one more driver to dial up here tonight. We just talked with our overall race winner. Let's get a hold of our Challenger race winner here tonight. Brings home a solid 5th place. Let's get a hold of Doug Cady.
User was moved to your
Hey, Doug,
channel.
it's the guys up here in the FRN booth. You got a copy? We'll give it another go here. Doug, guys up here in the broadcast booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, a great run for you here tonight. You pick up the win in the Challenger Series. Came into tonight leading those points and going to build a little bit of a cushion going into next week. But man, I'll tell you what, you were driving the wheels off of that thing in the corners. Maybe about the highest we ever saw somebody go up there off of turn 4. Looked like you were making all the lanes work, but just how much of a handful was the race car itself?
Going into 3, you're trying to stay off people that got a little wild coming into 3 and 4, but overall it was a good night.
Started this race from just outside of the top 10, the 11th position. We saw you play a little bit of strategy to gain track position. Did it make any difference in the handling of the race car the further towards the front you got?
I didn't think tires were too big of an issue for me tonight, so I seemed like I got up in front around the guys that I can trust, and I know it makes a big difference for me personally.
Now, we always talk about with the Challenger Series, it's the race within the race. Obviously, you want to come home with a great finish, but you're also keeping track of those other Challenger drivers around you. You came into tonight only 1 point to the good. We're going to obviously have to wait and find out next week what the gap is between you, and I believe Bobby will still be in second place with 4 races remaining. But coming into tonight, your third top 5 finish, what does this do for the confidence level with only a quartet of races left to go here in the season?
Well, it does nothing but help you. The more practice you get and the more you race around these guys, you get more comfortable with them. So I'm feeling pretty good leaving the track tonight.
Well, Doug, congratulations. Great run for you here this evening. Started 11th, bring it home in the 5th position. Your third top 5 on the season. Sitting solid in the overall standings as well, leaving Spartan Speedway here tonight. And before we let you go, floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shout-outs.
I want to thank everybody here that puts this race on, and you guys for a great show that you take care of for us. And just want to thank everybody that gives me a hand while I'm out here trying to learn these tracks.
Doug Cady brings it home solid 5th place here tonight as he takes the victory in the Challenger Series at Spartan Speedway. Congratulations on a job well done. Looking forward to seeing what the gap's going to be for the points lead going into next week as you look to defend that points lead for the final 4 weeks.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great night, and God bless you.
Doug Cady, winner here tonight of the Challenger Series. And interesting, the thing he just said right there, didn't feel that tires were all that important. I just took a moment to glance over my stats here. He was the driver that made the least amount of pit stops here tonight. Only came to pit lane twice. Everybody else was on pit road 3 times or more. Some drivers were on pit road 6 and 7 times. So a driver that was able to maintain track position and maintain his tires during the course of those couple of long runs. Pretty impressive.
Absolutely impressive. I mean, we were seeing him up there running inside the top 3 for a good chunk of the race as well. So I feel like if he, I think if a few cautions didn't come out near the end, I think he had a realistic shot at maybe trying to come away with this win. So that's a great showing by Doug.
Interesting, the mentality of Supta here tonight. Back-to-back victories, 3rd on the season, but he's not taking anything for granted. The standings have updated. He's got 41 points now, back to Grant, 43 back to Jeremy, so there's only 2 point separation for second. Denny Carroll now moves up to 4th. He's 47 points back, and Randy Wadd drops to 5th, 48 points back. So you could throw a 7-point blanket over 2nd through 5th, but Jeff said to us, 2 bad races for him, 2 good races for Grant with 2 races left to go in the season, and they could find themselves tied up here. Jeremy could obviously as well, with a podium finish tonight, entering that conversation as well. Jeff doesn't sound as confident as I thought maybe a driver in his situation would be.
I mean, Grant did just win 4 races in a row before Jeff won these last 2, so he knows this is not over by a long shot. And to your point earlier, drivers like Jeremy Jeffries, Denny Carroll, people like that, they could just as easily have a good few races, and Jeff has a few bad ones, and just like that, there's a new driver that's right in the mix for this championship. So I kind of agree with his mentality. This thing is not over by a long shot. You want to try to maintain your momentum and get the best finish you possibly can week in and week out, because there's only a few races left to go. There can be not a whole lot of time to make up any mistakes. If you have any lost ground, any races that go wrong, you're not going to have a whole lot of time to try to pick that back up. So Jeff wants to keep his foot on the gas pedal here, both metaphorically and literally. So I guess we'll see how he treats these next few races going forward.
Well, we've had some interesting races so far here that we've covered on FRN. Short track racing at Lucas Oil, borderline super speedway racing last week. Tonight, some good old, I guess we could say, speedway / short track racing at Spartan Speedway. And we just heard from Jeff, next week, road course racing at Burlington Raceway. So that's going to be an interesting one. The twists and turns, the lefts and rights. See how that kind of a racetrack, that kind of a configuration plays its part into this championship battle down the home stretch of season 66. But congratulations to Jeff Supta as he picks up his third win on the season here tonight at the Spartan Speedway. He'll carry his points lead into next week at Burlington Raceway. We'll be bringing you coverage of that next Wednesday night. Green flag scheduled to fly at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A look ahead of what's to come here on FRN. Tomorrow night, the simulcast is back. Tarnation TV and Flatout Racing Network will be bringing you coverage of the start of the playoffs for season 66 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge Series. 12 drivers look to begin their journey in a 6-race playoff format with the hopes of being crowned champion. And then Saturday night, we bring you the continuation of the 6th season of the Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the start of that broadcast as well. We thank you all for joining us here tonight for our coverage of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Aero88 Series. Jeff Supta, your winner here tonight. For Jack Mitchell, I'm Seth Cole. We'll see you guys next Wednesday night as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.